What's good everyone, it's Steve from Sneaker Tech Talk, back with another video today. For today's video, we will be taking a look at the performance review of the Nike GT Hustle 3. Alright, so starting with the traction pattern on the Hustle 3, as always, as you can see here at the bottom, these do kind of have this kind of spiral wound traction pattern here in the forefoot, and then in the heel, it just kind of runs like lines throughout and then wraps around the heel. This is a rubber gum outsole right here, and how this traction pattern performs on clean floors. I did play 3 times on a clean floor and 2 times on a dirty. Clean floors, you'll be good to go, very minimal wiping, and these stick like glue on clean floors. On hard lateral movements, on linear movements, you will be good to go. They do struggle a little bit on dirty floors. I was collecting quite a bit of dust, so I was wiping every 3 or 4 plays. But on clean floors, you'll be good to go. Dirty floors, you'll have to wipe. As far as bringing these outdoors go, the rubber compound on my pair is actually pretty firm, and the grooves are pretty deep as well. So I think you could bring these outdoors, but I would just really kind of be hesitant of that because these do run 190 USD, 245 here in Canada. So the price tag for these are ridiculous in my opinion. But as far as the traction pattern goes, in my opinion, it's a very reliable setup, and that's why they're going to score a very nice 9 out of 10. As far as the cushioning goes on this model right here, it's probably one of the shoe's strongest features, but for some players, it's just going to be too much. So the midsole is a full bed of React foam as far as the midsole goes. It's very plush underfoot. It's very nice. It does ride rather high though, especially in the heel. That's where this shoe is a little bit of a concern for me, is the teetering over side to side. As you can see right here, it's a full bed of exposed React foam, and I just think it rides very high off the ground. But as far as impact protection for bigger players, you're gonna get a ton of that. And then directly sitting on top of the Strobel board, you do get this ZoomX foam kind of drop-in insole. It's very thin, but it does add a nice plush feeling underfoot. Overall, I didn't really care for this. Like, it really didn't do much for me. You're getting the bulk of the cushioning in the heel with the React foam. And then in the forefoot, you do have double stacked Zoom Air. So directly under this drop-in insole, really thin one at that, you are getting a 4-foot Zoom Strobel, which is very plush directly underfoot. It offers a very nice bounce and spring to your step. And then under that, they're calling it a horseshoe Zoom Airbag, which is bottom loaded. And you do kind of see it exposed here on the lateral side with the Zoom Airbag, and it does run side to side and basically the full 4-foot of the shoe as well. So you get a ton of plush impact protection at the front of the shoe, and then at the back you get that React foam. But I just think for players from like 1 through 3, the smaller players, I'm not sure that you're really gonna love the shoe because the stack height as far as the cushioning is just so high off the ground. For me, being in my mid-30s, I really enjoyed it because it really helped that impact protection for my knees. But I think for the standard player, I think this is just gonna be too much cushioning. But honestly, just the way it made me feel on court was really crazy. I'm surprised they're not dubbing these the GT Jump 3s because this is a wild setup as far as the cushioning goes. And that's why they're gonna score a very nice 9 out of 10. Like, as far as impact protection, this is a 10 out of 10. You're gonna have no issues. But just that stack height with the overall cushioning and a little bit of instability from side to side at the back of the shoe, in my opinion, is just a little bit concerning. But overall, a very nice and plush cushioning setup in the GT Hustle 3. As far as the fit goes on these guys right here, I went with my true to size 10.5, and they were very snug. I actually think I could have gone up to a size 11, and they would have kind of taken away some of that break-in period with my toes basically touching the end of the shoe. After I broke them in for about 2 hours, they did get a lot more comfortable here in the forefoot, but the initial hour or so was just, it was a little bit painful. But I would say stick true to size if you want a very snug 1-to-1 fit. If you want about a thumb's width at the end of the shoe, I think if you go up half a size, you will be good to go. Wide footers go up half a size right from the jump because it does taper in just a little bit here in the forefoot of the GT Hustle 3. But overall, it is a very snug and secure fitting basketball shoe. I really enjoyed it after the break-in period, and that's why these are going to score a very solid 8.5 out of 10. As far as the materials go on these guys right here, I actually really enjoyed the materials on these. I actually really enjoyed the materials on this shoe right here. It's kind of like a fly knit or just a mesh upper with some TPU strands running throughout this upper to make it very strong and very breathable. It's actually more or less see-through. You can see right through this basketball shoe. It's basically paper thin. At the back of the shoe, you do have some more padding and some more plushness at the back. You get a ton of padding at the heel of the shoe, which is very nice. And then basically running through it, like I said, you kind of have this mesh or fly knit material, which does have a few pieces of TPU strands running throughout for that extra support. The tongue does have huge perforations running throughout the tongue for breathability. And then at the top of the tongue, you kind of have this cheap felt material. But overall, this material is superb and just very lightweight and breathable on court, and really offers no break-in time as far as the upper of this basketball shoe. And I'm actually really surprised at how much this shoe weighs, because you're getting a bulk of that weight at the base of the shoe with the cushioning, but once you have this shoe on foot, it does not feel heavy at all whatsoever. So as far as the materials go, I'm gonna give these a very solid 9.5 out of 10. I actually really enjoyed what the brand did with the Hustle 3 as far as the materials go. As far as the weight of this basketball shoe right here, again, this is a US size 10.5, and these come in at 13.9 ounces. So all things considered, this is not a heavy basketball shoe at all. And I think that's really saying something, considering you have a drop-in insole, you have a full bed of really chunky React foam, and then double stacked Zoom Air in the forefoot. I really love what the brand has done with the shoe, just offering all of the tech out there and keeping it in a lightweight package. Now, as far as the support of this basketball shoe here, I really had no issues at all. So at the back of the shoe, you have a very rigid and sturdy heel counter at the back of the GT Hustle 3, which does a great job of locking your foot in the back of this shoe right here. Moving your way forward from that, you do have that mesh material, which does offer a lot of strength on those hard lateral cuts. As far as the lacing system goes, as you can see right here, it is a traditional lacing system, with the laces kind of tucked away inside of this basketball shoe right here. And then your foot is seated ever so slightly within this midsole right here. So on those hard lateral cuts, that midsole is actually helping aid your foot, as well as offering some support, prevent your foot from spilling over the side of the footbed. On the bottom of the shoe, you have a very wide and stable base here at the forefoot, and kind of an outrigger with these Zoom bags right here. And I was actually initially a little concerned with this Zoom airbag right here as far as stability goes, but I can say I really had no issues at all as far as my foot kind of teetering over in the forefoot. The only stability issue that I did have from time to time was at the back of the shoe kind of teetering side to side, because you're sitting very high in this basketball shoe. That is one thing I did want to note. And then you do have a top-loaded shank plate to offer some great torsional rigidity. This is a very stiff shoe, and it offers a very nice kind of spring-loaded within your step. When you're taking strides, it kind of propels you forward. I don't know if it's just the Zoom airbag, but I can tell you right now, this shoe is very stiff when you do have it on foot, and it just feels very secure. So I really enjoyed my time in the shoe, but I do think this shoe is kind of built towards the bigger players. Victor Wembanyama is going to be wearing this shoe next season. He's already wearing it here, training for the Olympics. So as far as the support goes, really no hiccups at all, other than that teetering from side to side just a little bit. So keep that in mind. But as far as the support goes, I'm going to give these a very solid 9.5 out of 10. So that's going to do it for the Nike GT Hustle 3s. Do I like this shoe? Absolutely. I think this is a fantastic hoop shoe for the bigger players out there. If you're a lightweight guard, I'm not sure you're really going to like this shoe because the stack height is just so high as far as the cushioning goes. But if you like plush cushioning with a ton of impact protection, look no further, because this shoe is that shoe. And I think it does a great job of just offering Nike's best tech, especially with this Zoom X kind of drop-in insole or midsole. I think that was a very cool touch as far as what the brand included in the third model here. But sound off in the comments what you guys think of the shoe. As far as the aesthetics go, I actually don't mind it. It's pretty simple, but you're just getting an overall jam-packed tech shoe with all of their latest cushioning and just tech. I think this is a fantastic option. I'm just really not a fan at the price point coming in at $190. It's kind of eclipsing a lot of their signature basketball shoes. I know they're putting all of their tech within the GT line, but I'm just not a fan of the price point. I think if they could keep it around $160 to $175, that would be best in my opinion. But honestly, these are going to go on sale for like 50 or 60% off in the coming months. So I would not recommend you to rush out and grab this shoe. For durability with outdoor use, I would stray away from that because this mesh material is not very thick at all and it doesn't really have any protection on this upper. I do think you would wear through this upper very quickly. But overall, a hoop shoe that I did enjoy for indoor use. Sound off in the comments what you guys think of this shoe. But like I said, that's gonna do it for today's performance review. As always, if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe, that definitely helps the channel a ton. And check out my Instagram over at Sneaker Tech Talk, as it is an extension of my YouTube channel with all my pickups, basketball footage, and nostalgia as a whole. As always, thanks for watching today's video, and until next time, peace.